Okay, I'm Eric Paul Johnson,
And I'm Eric Wincentsen.
and Sunday was Eric's decided to develop a personality, and I guess he's going with douche.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
I
Um, Sunday, a couple days
just
ago.
want to truck nuts. Oh.
Well, no, Sunday, a couple days ago was the episode of Pods Like Us with the two of us talking with Martin Quibble about E.L.O. and the podcast and Beatles and Pink Floyd and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go listen to it. Pods Like Us. It's on the internet wherever you get your fine internets, and go listen to it. Enjoy it. Also, the other stuff down there, the places to give us money: Patreon, PayPal, the PO box if you don't trust the internet and want to send us checks, money orders, briefcase stuffed with $100 bills, that kind of stuff.
As well as hit the subscribe
Right.
and
And
button and the notification bell.
notification bell, wherever those are on your YouTube screen. Yes, hit those too. We're close. We're about to break 200 subscribers. Last time I looked this morning, we were at 199. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Oh, and also don't forget to take care of the pie cost.
Yes. What? What's a pie
It's
cost? What's a
about a
pie
dollar
cost?
fifty a slice.
Oh, yeah. My last girlfriend, Kat, she got me with something like that once. Her first trip out to Phoenix, and we went to the grocery store to get some stuff, and the checkout lane was set up in a kind of weird way where the cart goes one way and you go the other way while things get checked out. And she said, "What's this? What kind of dick fur is this?" And I said, "I thought, is that some sort of Illinois expression, some sort of Chicago saying?" I said, "What's a dick fur?" And she said, "Well, if you don't know what a dick's fur, then maybe I shouldn't have come out." So, um, we have a new Patreoner. I need my. Oh, I didn't prepare. I did prepare. I didn't get it ready. We have a new Patreoner, Sugar Mouse. Yeah, come on here. I'm full of freaking water.
He does know this is the E.L.O. and not a Marillion podcast, right?
What's that?
This is an E.L.O. and not a Marillion podcast.
No, it's not. Am I
But
gonna have to
we're
say
well,
what's?
we're always happy to have you.
Am I gonna have to say what's a Marillion for and then feel like an idiot?
Marillion is a uh, progressive rock band that started in the early 80s, and Sugar Mice was one of their big singles off the
Oh,
last album that had their original vocalist Fish.
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, great album, Clutching at Straws.
okay. So we got a new Patreoner. Now that I got my stuff where I can get it. Okay, enough. And at the $2 level too, which means um, you get the standard issue episode to hear it before the rest of the world does. You get expanded episodes with commentary from Don and Mike, and the stuff that gets cut out of the standard episode with me and Eric gets left in, plus any other goodies I feel like stuffing into the expanded episode.
Eric
So,
and I.
frickin' die?
No, I said Eric and I.
Eric and I, Mr. Grammar Nazi over there. Anyways, Sugar Mouse has some ideas for the podcast. Um, put on Bob. This is Bob, and he will speak for Sugar Mouse. Hi, guys. I just became a Patreon and so happy to support you in your efforts. We're very happy too. E.L.O. is such an important and underappreciated band. I've always thought so. Their music got me through some tough times during my childhood and teen years. Wondering what you're planning to do once you finish Out of Nowhere songs. Will you continue the podcast? Hope so. How? Okay. Before he goes on, maybe. If we get enough Patreoners, I don't know, I think maybe another 8 or 9 more people Patreoning, and I can bring in like maybe $50 a month once dole it out to the other people who work on the podcast. Yeah, I'll keep it going. I would be an idiot to have to walk away from $50 a month just for doing this, but a whole lot more would be even better. So keep the money coming in, people. Um, at this point, yeah, cash is cash is the determining factor on whether or not we continue with stuff outside of E.L.O. that's related to E.L.O. Okay. How about some of these ideas for episodes? Just ideas that I'd love to hear, and possibly others might as well. 1. Album rankings, where you each do a top 5 countdown of your favorite E.L.O. albums. I'm not against that idea. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
2. 2. Concept album and story analysis. You guys describe the stories of their concept albums, El Dorado and Time, and how the songs contribute or don't contribute to the stories. Well, I think we already kind of do that in the bonus track episodes where
Yeah.
we discuss the album. And we also kind of do it, song by song, how that song fits into the story when we're going through each song for that album. So,
Right. We kind of had to do it because of Pam's book regarding El Dorado is, and also Corey's kind of script for Time.
yeah, we had commercials for Pam's book that she wrote based on El Dorado. Corey had written the screenplay with his friend, who I can't remember, and I feel bad now. David Sowell, I think, or Sowell. So I listened to the shows. There was something about him on the bonus tracks episode last week. Anyways, I thought it would be interesting to serialize his script to see, his sort of take on time, and in a way that's like sort of old time radio where you get a little bit of show that continues into the next episode. And last I heard, I think he's working with Pam to actually get it into some sort of screenplay or book form to put out. So we'll see what happens there. The E.L.O. musicians. 3. The E.L.O. musicians. An episode on each musician from E.L.O. past and present. I kind of like that idea too.
We can make hay with that.
Yeah. 4. The Complete Time album. There are lots of rumors out there for how the Complete Time album was supposed to be, including lost tracks, etc. Kind of how it was with Secret Messages being a planned double album. How about an episode on that? Maybe. The thing is, I keep hearing two things, and I've heard them from two things from Jeff. I've heard him both say that Time is meant to be a single album, or that Time was meant to be a double album. But when he said it was a double album, he was also asked about Secret Messages in the same question. So I don't know if he was referring to Secret Messages instead of Time. And if there is a Time double album that was supposed to be planned, until I can have like an actual track listing to see what was supposed to be on it, I really don't know how it, I mean, it would all just be speculation that, maybe Julie Don't Live Here Anymore was supposed to be the closing track of side 1, or maybe it was the middle track of side 2, and, I don't know. Sometimes speculation can be fun. Other times it can be annoying. It just makes you look like you guys don't know what you're talking about, because we don't. Because we don't have a Time double album to go by.
We keep getting rumors that we might see one at some point, but that's never panned out.
Yeah, I heard that there was going to be, for the 50th anniversary, the Time double album. And I pretty much thought, didn't they release everything? At most, I think you could get 3 sides if you include the B sides that were released, either from Time or Bouncer was a Secret Messages B side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't, we got to wait and see if that thing actually happens, or if it's just going to be, one of those E.L.O. stories that floats around forever.
Yeah, if it was a double album, then a good portion of the songs have never been talked about or seen the light of day. So it would have to be something that he would have to release for most of us to know what in the world that would ever have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Smile or something like that where most of the stuff was already floating around and you
Yeah.
kind of got an idea of what it was. Basically, for Time, we largely know what Time was, which was the album we got. So,
Yeah. 5. The Lost Planet. The original idea was for the second album to be a Wood Lynn concept album collaboration, and it was to be called The Lost Planet. I see some folks online have theorized how that album might have sounded and even proposed a song list for that album. Might be a fun episode. It might be a fun episode. We kind of just glossed over that whole Lost Planet thing when we got to the second E.L.O. album, so that is something that, yeah, I'm kind of interested to look into. I think it was supposed to be a movie, but when I guess the notion of the amount of work and money that goes into making a movie, especially when you're a band that's still trying to, you know, get its sound out there beyond your little cult following and England, because I know the move was big in England, but over in America, which of course is the rest of the world, um, you say the move and people say, yeah, sure, when can I show up to help? So they really don't know about the band. So in 1973, 73, I think maybe E.L.O. making a movie was going to be a tough sell to the people who would, fund that movie. 6.
true.
Yeah. More interviews with band members and or musicians who work with them. Maybe even some interviews with the current touring musicians. Thanks, guys, for all your hard work telling the stories behind the E.L.O. songs we love. Oh, you're welcome. I like doing it. I'd like doing it more if more people give us money. As for the interview things, I've been kind of skittish about that. I,
Yeah.
I, I mean, I understand there's fair use, and we are using it for critiquing purposes. We are using segments of songs for critiquing purposes, and that's all legal and all to my brain. But I have an entertainment degree from a reputable college from Northern Arizona
YouTube
University.
University.
No, this one's Northern Arizona University, so slightly more reputable than
Okay.
YouTube University. So I do not have a legal degree. Corey does, and I'm sure he'd help us out. But I'm trying to avoid, you know, getting shut down or anything like that. So I'm like skittish about that. I don't think there'd be a big problem, but it's kind of like, I know this landmine in my hand here was proclaimed safe and it's okay, but I don't know. Should I really push this button here? Um, yeah,
I think if they were going to shut us down, saying that we are pretty close on our recording to the end,
I guess you're right.
that yeah, that we would have been shut down a long time ago.
Yeah,
However, we never really gave them we really gave Jeff or any of his legal team a reason to pay attention either. So it's kind of like if you're smoking the weed in the back row, security may just ignore it during the concert. You
hmm
take out a 3 pound bag of weed and start selling it to everybody else around you.
yeah,
They start asking questions
yeah,
like, how much is the weed? And can you get the hell out of this concert?
yeah. Or we're here. Let me help you out of this concert.
We're
Yeah,
confiscating
yeah,
this.
yeah. The other thing is, I mean, I haven't looked too deeply into it, but how do we get a hold of some of these people?
Oh,
Um,
it's not that bad, not that hard.
okay. See,
Um,
You're much better at this kind of thing than I ever was, because
Yeah, you just have to find out who their publicist is, contact their publicist, see if they're willing to do it. And publicists contact them, say, "Do you have time?" They'll know their schedule and everything, and
right.
say, "Hey, do you have time to do this? Anything coming up you want to promote, et cetera, et cetera." Probably give us certain things that we should ask them and all that, and because there's usually something they're trying to promote, so they want to kind of we can ask basically everything we want to, but we would just have to kind of weave in
Yeah.
um, the selling points and everything. But yeah, that's kind of been our fear, is that if we start pursuing people, especially people that Jeff may not be at the best terms with. Yeah, I know Bev was on Sea of Tranquility a few months ago, but
Mhm.
Sea of Tranquility never plays any music
Yeah.
on their show. So yeah, so that's kind of been our thing, is that if as long as the powers that be ignore us, we're good.
Yes. It's sort of like, as long as the powers that be ignore us, maybe not pester the powers that be. You know, I know you're ignoring us, but hey, how would you like to come on the show where we are playing snippets of your songs without paying for any of the rights?
Yeah, I don't know, it might be if along the down the line, if we want to do that and have them more on this type of thing where there's not really, where it's kind of separate from the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That might be doable,
Yeah.
because at that point the entire podcast will be done, it'll be up there. And yeah, if we're not kind of hooking them in with well, is this something we want or not, it's just more of a straight interview of, okay.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, when the videos post up there, I will get copyright notices. And really, it says, that's just fine. You can use the song. You just can't make any money from it. And any money that is made by YouTube sticking in ads will go to the copyright holders. And there have been times when I've used Beatles songs and it says, no, you can't use this, not at all. So we're going to silence the part where you have the Beatles song. And I would, file whatever it is, complaint, I don't know, retort, I can't remember the name right now, saying, no, no, this is fair use. We just use a little snippet for critiquing purposes. And for most of the Beatles songs, it's, we don't care. You're not, we're silencing this part.
Mhm.
But one of them, I guess the retort, the reply, whatever, sat unanswered for so long that YouTube sent me a message saying they didn't respond to this, so yeah, you can use this. Oh, same goes for Leo Sayer. He's used a segment of More Than I Can Say in one of our episodes, and it's silenced on YouTube even after I did the fair use defense. So I would like to talk to Mick Kaminsky about Violinsky. So I, I just, I'm just so curious about that. Okay, I think we're moving on now.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is from. I don't know if it's from YouTube or Patreon or just plain old Facebook, but here it is.
Okay. So it's Roland Ledger, and he says, "I really hope you have an April 1st Fool's Day this year. I still remember your Bruce Springsteen episode. Maybe announce a Nickelback podcast." Number
Oh,
one, not even as a joke. Number two, yeah, well, you will get a show around April 1st, but we won't be recording a show around that time. Our recording is, we're about done actually with the recording part of this, except for some other stuff coming up.
mhm.
And to kind of wrap up the entire podcast. So yeah, there shouldn't really be any April Fool's thing. The Manfred Man was kind of a one-time thing, because simply it just, April the 1st kind of just happened to be on the right time. for
Yeah.
it. And and it had a point to it too, because it had to do with how Kazan, LimeWire, and everything mislabeled E.L.O., mislabeled a bunch of songs as being E.L.O. back then.
Yeah. Um, Also, it's something we could only do once because if we do that again, where we say this song and it's an ELO song, people are going to know right off, oh, they're doing this April Fool's joke again.
Yeah.
There is a show that's kind of goofy, but it's on April 8th, I think. So, but it's not April Fool's. But then again, what better April Fool show than to do it a week after April Fool's when you don't expect it? We use that excuse, other than the excuse that we did use in that episode. So you'll find out
Right.
a couple
Yeah, we
weeks.
had thought of doing Love is Like Oxygen, but yeah, that was the whole thing, is that after this, yeah, we're it's just, oh, okay, that is predictably the next one.
Uh-huh. And I'm
Yeah.
still getting complaints about the that April Fool show. Uh, some people are still upset that we didn't do it on April Fools. We did it on March 30th, I think, or 31st, which is close enough, especially
Yeah.
since we release every Saturday. So, you know,
If you're in Australia, it was April 1st. So
there you go.
deal with it.
Yeah. As for the Nickelback podcast, I don't think I'd be able to actually say anything, even while joking through my dry heaves. So, yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that Nickelback thing's going to be happening.
Nickelback. There's an idea.
Oh
Classical
no,
versions of Nickelback songs.
no, not the bland alternative versions of Bach songs.
No,
Pop alternative.
I'm thinking you take Bach's music, take Nickelback's lyrics, and kind of adapt it together. You know, kind of like Whiter Shade of Pale, except sucks. So,
Oh, you might have an idea there.
yeah.
Yeah. Bubbles Mackenzie. I'm a new subscriber. I hope to add an extra 2 cents to the mix. He was one of the 199 subscribers at our YouTube channel. And yes, I would like to see your 2 cents. Go ahead. We'll read them and I'll enjoy reading them, whether we
Mhm.
agree with them or not. I enjoy seeing other people's 2 senses. Although I enjoy much more seeing other people's $4 a month, at least, through our Patreon page. So, okay. Now we're moving on to comments about From Out of Nowhere.
Okay. And Tanya Farhi says, well, I like it too. I'm not crazy about it, but it's soothing and relaxing. I've got to say, at least for myself, there is no song that you hear for the first time and boom, you love it. It doesn't work like that. Your ears need to hear it over and over again and get used to it. Then you can either like, hate it. Um, um, there are so many songs that I have heard once, and that was about all I needed to do a U-turn in the middle of the road and head right back to the record store.
Yeah, I mean, telephone line. Oh, it's One Summer Dream. They're both so dreamy and Don't Walk Away.
Yeah,
Time after
telephone
time.
line. I love the first moment I heard it.
Yeah, telephone line, or I mean, time after time. So many of those songs that instantly, as soon as I heard it, Green Tambourine, Psycho Babble, all of those. Those are just a few songs
Um,
that I loved
yeah,
right
a
away.
lot of stuff by Ghost I liked on the first hearing. Yeah, Square Hammer, He Is, Cerise,
Mhm.
all that stuff from their third album. And then, God, Alan Parsons liked right off the bat. Pink Floyd, I that caught me any song of theirs except Money originally.
Now that one did get a lot of play. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bare Naked Ladies, just right away from the first album was like, this is great. I mean, I couldn't stop
Um,
listening to it for 5 months.
well, I was disappointed with that one.
The first album, Gordon.
Well, no. The fact that I bare naked late. Oh, it's a bunch of Canadian
Oh,
guys.
it's just a bunch of white Canadian guys. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
understand that. But yeah, there's a lot of songs that I liked a lot. And a lot of songs I despised as soon as I heard them. And a lot of songs that were just, "Eesh." But I did turn around it if I heard it enough. Sometimes at some point, it's like, all right, maybe it's not such a bad song.
The Reflex.
I still hate the Reflex. You talking Duran Duran? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of the cutoff for me. I like 1983 Duran, at least the 82, 83 Duran Duran. Um, seven, no, not seven. Union of the Snake. That was like the
Hmm.
last one. It's like, and all the singles that came out after that, I hated. I mean, I did like View to a Kill, but then later in 1993, I liked Ordinary World and
Right.
some of the stuff from that.
I
But
still can't believe the Reflex was their number one song.
it's
And it's
so
the probably one of the worst songs that band ever did. And that band has a lot of horrible songs. And
well, it's the same way with the Clash. They did a lot of great songs, but their biggest hit, their only top 10, Rock the Casbah, which I have
all those
despised,
songs.
which I have
Oh,
despised ever since I first heard it.
oh, that's also one of those songs that I've loved ever since I first heard it. So
There's a
it's
lot
a
of
song
songs,
that for me never gets old.
oh, a lot of songs by the
Sometimes in
Clash have,
context, I don't like how some people use it in context because yeah, that's completely not how the band meant it.
yeah,
But yeah, but the song itself, I've always loved it.
hate it. I can't stand the music. I can't stand his voice in it. Why couldn't Should I Stay or Should I Go? That should have been the bigger hit, but it didn't even make the top 40.
Yeah, but it's just as big as a song now as Rock the Casbah. Those are the two most listenable songs off the album.
Yeah, well, the
That Rock
problem,
is not their best is not their best album, but it's not a horrible album. That would be Cut the Crap, which came after it.
yeah, but the problem for me is I listened to American Top 40 shows in order. So there was about 3 months or so where every week it was Rock the Goddamn Casbah. So, anyways, we got to get moving on because nap time's in a half hour. Tracer
Yep, and
Anthony.
work time is in 45 minutes. So
Okay. Tracer Anthony always assumed these were essentially just cuts that didn't make Alone in the Universe 4 years prior. Yeah, they do have that feel.
even though some of them are better, so
Hmm.
we'll get that when we go through the album part. Thomas Van de Kieft. I tore into the album for 2 full weeks 2 years ago and couldn't get into it. Haven't listened to it since.
Yeah, I listened to it once when it came out. I felt like I didn't need to hear it again. I listened to it again like about a month before we started getting into the songs, recording the episodes for the songs. I didn't get into it then. And now today we recorded our episode for the last song on the album, Songbird. And you're just going to have to wait and find out, did my opinion change or is it still unlistenably bland? Just going to have to wait and find out. Corey Gomel, among my least favorite songs to kick off an album. Among my least favorite song on this album. It sounds like he just drones on during the verses. The chorus is a bit better. Years ago, like 40 plus, they, critics, used to complain about Jeff singing as robotic and unemotional. On this song, it's like Jeff had an answer for those critics. You think that was robotic? Robotic. You think that was robotic? Just wait till you hear this. I'll show you I'll show you I'll show you robotic. First time I've ever had trouble saying robotic. This would have been much better had it been left off the album and added as a bonus track a year later. I know, you're saying, Corey, Mr. E.L.O., Mr. Administering. How can you say that about an E.L.O. song? Just keeping it 100, crew. Sorry, thought I was 12 years old for a sec. Problem is, this song is also the name of the LP, so we would need a new title. If it was up to EPJ, the title would be a takeoff of another song on the LP. Down Came the Pain. Songbird? Nah, that sounds like a Barbra Streisand LP. One More Time? Maybe if it was the last LP, but I hope that's not the case. I kind of like the marketing idea of Help Yourself to the new Jeff Lynne's E.L.O. LP. That is kind of catchy. But that time has come and gone. I think the best answer would have been a shot of the band or even just Jeff from the Wembley concert with the spaceship that was there at the concert with the title of Time of Our Life.
One More Time would be an apt title to a lot of the later ELO stuff. One more time.
Here we go again. Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go again. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Yeah.
Yes.
MJ says, I was going to say with this song, I will stick with your original answers. And then, of course, it becomes a complete earworm. Open minds are always the ones to have.
Sometimes I try to open minds, but things get messy. There's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of blood shooting everywhere. You got to clean things up because the cops are always going to show up at some point and ask questions. So,
True. I
yeah.
was about to make a Hannibal reference. uh, he really opened somebody's mind at the end of that movie.
Yeah, I happened to be at my parents' house and walked into the living room at the wrong time. I guess somebody was eating their own brain.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Yes. Yes, this is what I wanted to see while we were sitting down for supper during one of my visits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done here because we got to get going. I have napping to
Right.
do. Eric
And I
Eric
think
has a
we're done
job.
here.
Yeah, Eric
Yes,
actually has a job, so okay. I think we're done here.
we are done here.